Hi, this is Rick Bernauer, Senior Systems Consultant with CyTek Corporation, here to share some information with you about the Worldox document management software. Worldox is created by the World Software Corporation company. It's in use by over 6,000 law firms in the United States, but it's also in use in other environments like corporate legal departments, education and universities, governmental locations. Worldox and World Software are located in New Jersey, just outside of Manhattan, and have been there since 1988, developing the software. As I mentioned, that's not just for law firms, but is in use in many different types of environments because Worldox is customizable. You can change the types of information that you're tracking about your documents, where they're located, and how long they're maintained on the system. So it's very flexible and customizable. Now, CyTek, the company that I'm with, is a company that provides the planning and design work, helps with the installation of the Worldox software, and provides training for you to be able to help make sure you're using the software in the most efficient way. We also can help with converting your current documents and systems into Worldox and then providing support for you. Now, World Software does provide technical support as part of your maintenance that you would pay. That gets you free updates on the software, telephone support to help with problems. But when it comes to training, consulting types of things, they rely on companies like ours to be able to assist with that. World Software does recognize certain resellers and people that work with them as kind of key partners for them, and CyTek is one of those companies. We are part of their inner circle of support companies. Now, what is document management? I sometimes use this metaphor for it that a document management system can act like an electronic file clerk. Without this, in your file room, you would just have anyone who could walk into there and then file a document wherever they wanted. And that means sometimes it goes in the right place, but sometimes they put it in the wrong folder or drawer, or they just leave the document sitting on top of the file cabinet, hoping that they'll be able to find it later on. When you have this file clerk, it makes it so that the system knows where documents should be stored based upon some key information you put in, perhaps what client they're for, what project or department, what fiscal year, what type of document there are. By filling out those profile field pieces of information, the system knows where to store your documents. And this makes it more like when you are saving a document, you have a file clerk and you go to the file room door, hand the document to them and say, please file this under the Jones case. It's a contract that I've written. And so the file clerk then knows where to store it. This helps standardize where things would go. And then because Worldox maintains indexes in the background, it makes it so it's very fast and easy for people to retrieve this information later on. So you could say to the file clerk, can you show me all the documents for the Jones case? Or can you show me all the lease agreements that I was the author of in the last 6 months for any one of our clients? And you can even do full text searching through Worldox, which would be like saying, can you show me any document that contains the phrase landlord rights? And it would look through the body of the Word document, the text file, the PDF files, emails, all sorts of different documents out there, find all of them that match no matter what client they were for and bring those up for you. Now, Worldox can also assist with the document life management, and this means how long are documents maintained on your system. Many places just leave them and let them stay there forever, but you could set up rules that say for a memo type document, we're going to maintain it on the system for 2 years and then delete it, or archive it and send it to another area so it doesn't take up quite as much space in our main file server storage area. And you can also set up security for documents. Worldox will integrate with the Windows Active Directory system, but you can set it up so that you could, by default, restrict access to certain features or certain areas of documents, or you could put up ethical walls and say, for this particular client matter, only these people in the office can see it, and other people could maybe just edit it or not even see it at all. And then finally, there is ad hoc security you can put on individual documents where you say, oh, for this one document, I want to only let these 3 people in our office be able to edit it, and it's only visible to other people, or maybe it's entirely hidden out there. All those features make Worldox very powerful to be able to manage your documents, control who has access to them. It even has an audit trail, so that we'll track who is opened and saved, printed, worked with documents out there. Now, the real reason people go to the expense and effort to be able to install a document management system like Worldox is because of the benefits they get from it. And primarily, that's the wasted time that people spend searching for documents. You may, in your office, be able to kind of do a quick calculation for those times. How many times a week does somebody spend time trying to find a document? 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there to be able to get it. Perhaps sometimes they can't even find it, so they have to then go out in the hall and ask other people to be able to try to help them find the document that they know should be there, or they have to entirely redraft something that they could have, if they could have found a prior piece of work, they could have reused it. So it can really save time and make you more productive if you're able to find things quickly by any of these search capabilities that Worldox has. It does help it so that new hires and other people, it's more efficient to show them how to do saves of documents, so it's easier to train and get them to use your systems there. Worldox does have remote access capabilities. Either maybe you already have through your system, or they have versions, Worldox Mobile, which gives you access to your documents through a web browser. There's the Worldox Enterprise system, which can actually store documents on your server, but still give people outside the office access to it through a client. And then there's even the Worldox Cloud, where everything is stored in a data center, and everyone gets to it through their searches. But they're retrieving documents onto their machine from the server located somewhere else. Now, often we talk about it's being document management, but it doesn't have to be just documents. It can be emails, scanned images. You could even save WAV files or any other document type or file type into the system. Worldox is tightly integrated with many programs like the Microsoft Office suite, Adobe Acrobat, WordPerfect, and many other hundreds of programs that are used in legal environment and other corporate offices. So it makes it very easy to have Worldox pop up whenever you would do an open or a file save to be able to get to those. Worldox also has modules that can be used so that if you were to save TIFF or PDF files that had images but had not had the optical character recognition, the OCR software done, it would go through, do those in a batch, and makes it so that those documents were now full text searchable as well. So some of the key features that make Worldox powerful and very efficient for you is that it has the fast document retrieval. By maintaining indexes out there of the name of the document, who was the author, what type of document it was, what client or matter it was for, you can do searches by those very quickly, so that in 5 seconds you can pull up your list of documents that meet your search criteria. Even if you have millions of documents out there, these indexes make it so it's very fast searches. As I mentioned, it does have full text indexing, so it creates an index of all the words in all the documents and allows you to search by people's names for conflict checking if you wanted, or by phrases. It can do word proximity searches, or you can do stemming searches out there. So you could say, I want to find all the documents that have enroll or any extension off that, like enrollment or enrolled, and it would find all of those word matches. Worldox also has file viewers that allow you to view into the different file types without even having to launch them. So for example, you could be looking at a list of documents and then look into the Word documents, the PDF files, the emails, without having to launch the program that it was originally in. If you have the viewer capability, you don't even need that program. So if you have old WordPerfect Quattro Pro type files still in your older documents, you could use that Worldox viewer to be able to look into the document, block and copy and pull things up, be able to work with them even if you don't have the program. As I mentioned, being able to apply security, protect who has the documents, key part of Worldox. And then document check in, check out allows you to take documents with you on your notebook computers, but to still maintain control so that people in the office who then try to pull up the document that someone else has checked out, get a message that says, Joe has this document checked out. You can edit it, but you'll have to save it as a copy of the document because it's locked to help protect the integrity of that document while they're working with it outside the office. And as I mentioned, Worldox does have many different features allowing web access back to your documents to let you pull them up, view them, edit them, and work with them. And one of the key features, I think, of Worldox is it's just easier to use. It does not require SQL database on the back end or a database administrator. It's not complicated to be able to keep the system up and running once you've got it going out there. And that helps keep the cost down so that it's much more efficient, easy to be able to get Worldox up and running and then maintaining it running out there. So implementing Worldox, just to give you a quick overview of that, the way we work with it is we help you identify the software that you want to work with Worldox and make sure you have versions that are supported. For example, in the Microsoft Office suite, it would have to be version 2010 or 2013, 2016. You can't be using an older 2003 or 2007 version. We just look through and make sure we've got all those integrations lined up. Then we design what are called the profiles, and the profiles are the pieces of information that you want to track about a document, perhaps what client it was for, what type of document it was, and who was the author. Once those are developed, you decide what values are allowed, and then we set those up and help you be able to have a pull-down list to be able to look at those. Installing and configuring Worldox is really a fairly straight-ahead process, but we have to look at the server, decide where documents would be stored, make sure you have your indexing machine set up so that it can maintain the system for you. And then there's a test import of existing documents to help prove that the system has the values you want, things are stored where you want, give you a chance to look at it, kind of experiment and test it out. And then training users is a key part. You do need to take time to realize that the system is not complicated, but it is change. And so you want to have your users comfortable with the new way to save documents, the new way to search for things. It will take them a few days to be able to get used to it. But over and over, I see people, it is change, takes them a while to get used to it. But once they've been using Worldox for a week or two, they start to go, oh, I really see the benefit, on the speed that we get. And then after a month or so, they go, I don't know how we could have gotten by without it before this, because it makes it so much simpler to be able to find your documents, retrieve them, and have people consistently using your documents. Another key part is the importing of what I call your legacy documents, your existing documents, that help you decide, do we just leave them where they're at, but index them so you could do full text index searches against those documents, or do we actually move them into the kind of new file room with the new Worldox file clerk? There's real advantages to that, but you have to decide how will they be moved in, who will do that, does your system organized enough right now that it would be able to be automated to be able to move those in. All those kind of things, the decisions about implementing are things that we could help with as you were looking at it, but it's a key part of putting Worldox in. And then finally, the support. I want to repeat that Worldox has outstanding technical support. You can contact them once you've used it. They'll help you install it on new machines, like new workstations, help you with integration issues and things like that. So that if you ever have problems, it's very easy to be able to work with them and have them help you over the phone or through remote connections. So that is a quick overview of Worldox. I would be glad to talk to you, answer any more questions that you have. We will also be providing a demonstration of some of the key features of the Worldox system in a different video. So please look at that and let us know if there's any questions or things that we can help with. We'd be glad to talk to you. Thanks so much. Enjoy the day.